Welcome to Healing ALS Sunday Community Meeting. I'm Scott Douglas. We've been here doing our community meetings. We are week 23 of 26 week course that we have been going through. And basically, when we meet 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 9 p.m. European time. Okay, for those of you who are just joining us. We are not medical professionals, and we're not here trying to give you medical advice. But what we're doing is sharing the experience of 30 pals who were able to reverse this disease, whom we visited and saw how they were doing their reversals and what they were doing with their lifestyles and how they changed their lifestyles to turn this disease around. And it's amazing when people start gaining in functionality with this disease as opposed to letting this disease progress. Okay? Our goal is to try to get 100 reversals by 2022, okay, if we can in this group. And we are working towards that because we have a lot of folks that are doing well as opposed to losing functionality. We encourage people to do their own research. And it's very important that they're active with their own disease. So this is a fight. It takes time. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so you have to take things step by step with this to get this to turn around. It is, I want to say, 40% physical and at least 60 to 70% mental. So your mind state and attitude is very important. And it's important to have people that are around you that are supportive and want to keep you in this positive mode, because when your cells are positive, you actually open up your cells to accept nutrients better. And that helps. Every little bit does help. We have Joyce, Dr. Joyce Brown joining us today. Joyce is phenomenal. She is a 30-plus year ALS survivor. I think she's about year 32 in surviving her ALS. And she has been through a lot, and she knows how to stay positive through a lot of negative situations that have come into her life. But the most important thing, as you are trying to heal, have fun, stay positive. It's very important. Tish, are you here with us right now, Tish? Are you on, or are you still working there?
What I wanted to do is explain, this is how you get on the WhatsApp group. People didn't know last couple of weeks, and they've been asking me how to get on the WhatsApp group. So if you could just make sure you go to healingals.org, go to the contact form, and make sure you include your cell phone number, including your country. You must have completed all 4 weeks of boot camp ahead of time, and either recorded or live, and understand it. So if you didn't understand it the first time, watch it again before you join the WhatsApp group, because we're expecting sort of a minimal level of knowledge. This is sort of a higher level of knowledge in the WhatsApp group. So instructions are fully on the contact form of healingals.org. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that I want to thank all our volunteers. This is not always possible, and we actually lost one of our volunteers this week to a surgical mistake, not to ALS, and so it's just been that's why Scott said it's been a pretty tough week for us. So just wanted to let you know, and then we're going to start with this in just a second. So I'm going to work with Joyce. So Scott, why don't you just continue and let me try to get Joyce on, okay?
Yes, okay. All right. And basically, working with your functional medical doctor that I've mentioned before, which is really good. But in order to reduce stress, sometimes you have to get yourself in a calm mode. A lot of people do it through meditation. A lot of people do it through prayer. Do what resonates with you. Do things that are positive. Sometimes you can be with your physician and something can hit you and it's not right. If that does not resonate with you, please speak out and make sure you let your physician know that I feel uncomfortable with this. Because there have been folks that have tried things with their physician. They thought it was strange, and they've actually lost functionality. And then it took them months to get their functionality back to where they used to be, just because they had tried something that was a little new with their physician. So be
Okay.
careful and do your research on whatever is new that your physician presents to you.
So, Scott, I can make a couple of announcements. Basically, the reason that Joyce's talk today is so important is because over 95% of diseases are stress related. So you can ask any functional medical doctor, the most positive people, the best attitudes have the best outcomes, but you need to reduce your stress both inside and outside. So if you might be really positive outside, but if you're really stressed inside, that doesn't help. You've got to reduce your stress inside and outside. And that's one of the things that Joyce is going to work with us on. And sorry about that. And I realize I don't have a full screen on. So Qigong announcement is in today's email. So just to let you know, there's a free Qigong class next Saturday. And then, Scott, why don't you introduce Joyce Brown? And I've got this slide. She was diagnosed in 1988. And then why don't you go ahead and do this first introduction slide while I still work on Joyce, okay?
Yes, and it's so true. Joyce is so positive despite adversity. Born in 1933 during the Depression. What a time to grow up, right? Her father did abandon her, when she was very small, 18 months old. Her single mother brought her to work as a cleaning lady, so she was pretty much ignored for long periods of time during the day. It's like, when some children are ignored, they kind of have to end up raising themselves to a certain degree. And she was abused at a very young age, at age 6. And that was by a family friend. That's very sad. At a young, tender age, basically, at 10, her mother did believe, her father, after another child got molested, but the family didn't know what to do and never pursued the persecution. So that means that you basically have never come to terms with what had happened to you, which is very sad because you really want to do that. She was married age 26 and was divorced with 3 young children. Serious car accident at 27 years old, which there's problems with that lasted throughout her life and even up to this day from that accident. Okay. And 8 major spinal surgeries over the next 15 years. Your spine is very important, and it affects every part of your body. As you know, she's having a very difficult time trying to see. She is technically she's basically blind, but she has very little vision. But she's legally blind, and she's living on her own, and she does a lot on her own, and that's why they're trying to get her on right now. And as you can see, away from, other children and Jennifer for a very long time. She had a very difficult time with her son adopted for his, stability. Father committed suicide. That's tough. Suicide is a very tough one, and it sticks with you. Okay. Many health problems in 1983, died and came back after her near-death experience. It's amazing, and she has a new book that's coming out that'll be coming out pretty soon. She's going to go ahead and introduce that for you, okay? And losing a multi-million-dollar business to fraud, that's something that's going to weigh heavy on you as a burden, and I'm sure that was carried throughout a large part of her life.
Okay, I'm so excited. Joyce is now on.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Now,
Great.
the only thing is, Joyce, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm excited to be here. It's going to work.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. So as you can see from these slides, Joyce is a master of overcoming adversity. So understand, in fact, what's really interesting is she's been through all these things. In 2017, she calls me up and says, Tish, you have to write a blog on me because the doctor says I'm going to die any day. That was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Just she's lost everything and many times, more than once. So I think that she's got a lot. Joyce is also the author of a book called God's Heavenly Answers CD series, and an upcoming book that's starting in 2000. It should be. We hope that this book will finally be out in early of 2021. So she just has a lot. It's pretty cool at 87 years old. to be writing books, which is amazing. So she's 87 years old. She's founder and president of a nonprofit, Stress and Grief Relief. She takes emergency suicide calls. She spends about 20 hours a week with suicide calls and coaching people. Before anybody calls her hotline, which is on hopedr.org, please, she asks that you read God's Heavenly Answers first. It's only $2.99 on Kindle, and the time is much better spent after you've read the book than before. Joyce also runs our Saturday prayer group, and it's usually about 15 minutes long. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer, but 15, 20 minutes. Details are on hopedr.org. And what I like actually is that she's finishing her second near-death survivor book, and then when she's finished with that one at 87, she's planning on doing another one called What to Do Before and After the Doctor Says Nothing Can Be Done. So she has a lot more to do, she says. And so Joyce, welcome.
Thank you. I am so glad I could get back on. Every adversity carries a seed of benefit. I don't know what it is, but maybe it will teach us all more patience. Who knows?
Maybe. So I want you to tell me just a few stories. David Bennett, I'm going to Joyce can't see the slide, so I'm kind of got a good guide. Tell us really quickly about David Bennett. One sentence.
Yes, he had a near-death experience, and he wrote me his story. It's going to be in the new book. And after he had his near-death experience, they confirmed that he had lung cancer stage 4, and using what he learned while he was on the other side, prayer and positive thinking, he healed himself from stage 4 lung cancer to totally healed.
Great. And what about Judy Mora?
Oh, Judy Moore is she is one of the most famous speakers in the whole world. And she had breast cancer, and using prayer and positive thinking and natural means, she healed herself from breast cancer. And that will be in my new book too.
Great. And Clyde Buchanan?
Oh, Clyde Buchanan. He's a famous person. He was president of national speakers in Hawaii, Utah. He taught speakers how on cruise ships. But one day he could hardly walk, and it got worse and it got worse to where he had MS so bad he just mumbled and shook and everything else. But using prayer and determination, he was able to overcome MS, and has natural now, and he's showing us how to do that, plus how to enjoy life because it's not a dress rehearsal.
Great. Okay, so tell us, so just to let you know, this isn't just Joyce. There's a lot of other people have healed with this change in attitude, shift in attitude, and it's important for everyone to do that. So tell us a little bit about where you were before your near-death experience.
Well, before my near-death experience, I was a very negative person. I had used positive thinking. I'd used sleep teaching, which works and does wonders to make negative thinking positive feeling. But I believed the myth that to have the most wonderful experience in the whole world was to die. So I was very suicidal, and I thought nothing would be as nice as dying. And then miraculously, because I'd been very ill, I was bedridden, I had rheumatoid arthritis, but I actually died one day. I actually went to the other side and found that death was not what I was expecting at all. I had a life review. I saw that there were so many things I had just given up in life and how valuable life is. And making it through problems is possible with miracles from God, with the determination, the power of healing of our own minds, our own words, and the power of God. But we need to be in tune.
So tell us the main things that you learned during your near-death experience.
The main thing I learned, which is different than, there have been thousands of near-death experiences that have been revealed now. And each one is as different as your fingerprints. And people are shown what their particular need is. But what I was shown was how valuable problems are in life, and how the other side for eternity, we develop and grow, and that earth life is the time to prepare a mortal school. We have a veil over our minds so that we grow and learn, and we don't realize, but we have the free choice to learn from our problems or to try to give up, as I had. And I so begged and wanted another chance because I realized I was in a spiritual realm. I had literally died. I'd been bedridden. I'd been very ill. And I begged and promised that if I would be given another chance to live, I would tell everyone who would listen. I didn't say they would like it. I didn't say they would understand. I promised everyone who would listen, if they would hear me, how important life is, to know that God is real, that prayer is real, that our own thoughts are real. And all of a sudden, I was back in my body. And then I saw this big gold crown tooth. And I've never even had a toothache, but I saw that big gold crown tooth was part of the reason I had been so ill, bedridden, arthritis, crippled, and nothing the doctors could do, allergic to all the antibiotics. But I was back in, I could feel my face. I wasn't that wispy being anymore. I could feel my face. I had a body back. But then I also discovered one of the big things, that anything I had repented for was not in my life review. So I would say the biggest things I learned is how important it is for us to be aware of other people, to be kind, to be loving, but to keep on no matter the problems, and to have hope and then to share. So I've been privileged, and that's why I'm #1 hope doctor on Google and trying to help people. There is hope. There is hope. And if we do the right things, if we think the right thoughts, if we're kind, if we're loving, if we're forgiving to others as we wish to be forgiven, especially to our caregivers and others, and if we are having a tough day, we're really down, I've found the biggest thing that works for depression, grief, or whatever, is to go do something for someone else. And then it helps us. It brings in the power of God. It brings in our own power. Life is what happens while we're making other plans.
Great. So tell us a little bit about doing your best while you're here. I mean, that was said when you wanted, you said you had told us when you meet God, you want to really feel like that. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, doing the best we're here doesn't mean that we have to be perfect. It means trying counts. God knows the intent of our hearts. And if we just do what we can, and as we go help someone else, one of the things, as I said, I promised, if I would have another chance, in order for me to have peace of mind, is who I can help here. Maybe it's not convenient, but that's the big thing. The next time I die, I want peace of mind. And in order to receive that is to help everyone here that I can. And I've had many people, but I would strongly suggest to read my book. It took me a lot of time and prayer to write that book, God's Heavenly Answers, Near-Death Experience Revealed. It also has stress relievers, grief relievers in there. But if you can read that first before we speak, because then we'll be on the same page, and you'll understand miracles are possible. And as we give miracles, so will we receive them.
Thank you. Everything you said, everything we think and do is important.
Oh, yes. While I was on the other side, I discovered you communicate with thoughts, not with words. Everything is known. The thoughts are so important. The intent of the heart is so important. We will learn, but life is a learning experience. And even when we're down, no matter how down we are, every adversity carries with it the seed of a benefit. But the challenge is to hang in until we find the seed of the benefit. Life is a learning experience. And if you add about 10 or 100 years on a problem, where is the real challenge? We can make it through these problems. But if we don't, then get ready to meet God by being kind, loving, and doing the best we can where we're at. Miracles happen. Maybe today isn't the day, but maybe tomorrow will. Also, I've discovered maybe we won't have it tomorrow. So we have to make the best use of every minute, every second, every day.
Fantastic. Tell us about badges of honor.
Oh, okay. I discovered on the other side that every thought is known, every wrinkle is known, why and how you got it. If someone has wrinkles over there and they were mean and honoring, they have different marks of badges, but every wrinkle is a badge of honor. Now that I'm back here, I have too many badges of honor. I would really like to get rid of my wrinkles. But over there, they're badges of honor because it's shown how you got them. You were praying and straining for someone and really trying to do your best. Produces a different badge of honor than someone who's ornery and who's scowling. So life is very important. Life is, this is not a dress rehearsal. Enjoy life. It's not a dress rehearsal. And expect miracles, believe in miracles, and be a miracle for someone else.
Okay, can you talk about forgiveness?
Forgiveness, yes. I used to be really big. I wanted justice. I believed that all you had to do was find out who was right or wrong, and some great justice took place. When I was on the other side, I didn't want justice anymore. I wanted mercy. But as it says in the Bible, I discovered it's absolutely real. As we give, so shall we receive. And I wanted mercy. But then I realized in order to forgive, it has to have been during earth life, when someone does something to us so we can forgive them. Now, when I first came back from my near-death experience, I said, oh, let someone do something terrible to me so I can forgive them. I don't need to ask that anymore. Someone burned my house down. I've had all these things. But I have to say, I learned a lesson. So I'm very quick to forgive. Because when we're on the other side, we don't need all those material things anyway. But when we're going through things, grudges, life is too short to hold grudges, to be angry. And if you hold a grudge, it's like taking poison and waiting for another person to die. Because life is a journey. It's not a destination. Life is worth living, even with pain. I've been through 8 major back surgeries. They failed. I have 5 fractured vertebrae, but hey, I keep going. I have a power chair that I use sometimes because of the problems from the other injuries and things. And I can only sit up so long, so then I have to lie down because of all these back problems. But then when I sit up and get going, no one can keep up with me. Hey, I might be almost 90 years old, but I'm really only like 39 unless I look in the mirror, try to get up off the chair.
Okay, I think that's the most important thing that you just said to me, is that anger, resentment, grudges, and judgment only hurt us, and they actually cause disease inside us. So that's very important. Tell us about faking it till you make it.
Okay, to become enthusiastic, act enthusiastic. Be kind and loving. If this isn't your normal way of doing things, remember other people are hurting. Don't expect everybody to be a therapist and try to tell them all of your problems. They're so busy they don't have time to listen. But so just express love and kindness until it becomes a habit and a way of life, and pray for God's help, because he wants you to help others to have a nice day. And as you give, so shall you receive. But it does no good to be angry. It does no good to judge. As we judge, so shall we be judged. And the most important thing is when we stand before God, and we all will, we'll all stand before God who gave us life. Now, my first book on God's Heavenly Answers, Near-Death Experience, reveals what the other side is like. You want to know what the other side is like? Read that book so we can get on the same page. Now, my next book, which I don't know if you can see, Near-Death Survivor Conquers ALS. What did I do? Have it upside down?
Yes.
Upside down. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this way. Okay, Near-Death Survivor Conquers ALS, Depression, Grief, Suicide, and More, a book of hope. And what it does is it prepares you to make it through problems, how to be ready when it is your time, but how to make the most use of now. And I know there are many people who have someone who is suicidal. I understand the importance of giving support to someone. My father committed suicide. I have a half-sister committed suicide. 4 cousins committed suicide. But we are not responsible for someone else and what they do. God will take care of that. I don't know. But they're not going to have unearned peace. There's no free lunch here. There's no free lunch over there. But I can promise and tell you, problems are blessings in disguise. I know I've been there with the ALS. I've been paralyzed from the shoulders down from the surgery. But with prayer and determination and mental picturing, maybe you can make a toe move. Maybe you can do whatever you can do. Because now is not forever. And miracles are possible. We have to believe in them, give miracles, and then God will be there for us. And if not, then it's time for us to prepare, because we never know when we will be meeting God.
So, Joyce, a lot of people have had trauma. In fact, everyone in the audience has had trauma in their past. And so, to me, I'm absolutely amazed that you were abused when you were 6 years old. And how did you manage to release that trauma? How have you managed not to let that trauma, and other people have had serious traumas in their past, how did you manage to release your trauma? You have many traumas from the past.
That's a very good question. And what I found was using the sleep teaching, which the CDs for miraculous results, and the meditation, which we do this on Saturday. Please join us, 12 o'clock Pacific time. We do We teach you how to do positive affirmations, how to do mental imaging, and how to do prayer. But until then, I was a very miserable person. I just was miserable all the time until I discovered the miracle of replacing every night you go to sleep, your conscious mind goes to sleep. The subconscious is awake. You can reprogram your thinking to positive thinking, positive feelings, and then you replace the thinking. But the other important thing is to remember to keep positive pictures in your mind. Now, many of you know that my little service dog of 9 years ago, I just lost her and had her put to sleep. It's been terrible, but I knew how important it was to get new pictures in my mind. So I have a new baby. This is Kitty Angel, Introduction to Kitty Angel. She looks a lot like Kitty, and she will become my baby. But you've got to get new pictures in your mind. You can't hold grudges. Keep your mind on what you want and off of what you don't want. The mind is like a magnet. A magnet attracts iron filings. Your mind power is positive. Keep new positive pictures on what you want. And keep on your mind on what you want, off what you don't want. And keep positive pictures in your mind. It does no good to send out bad thoughts. They'll only come back.
Have you ever had trouble forgiving anyone?
Oh, I did before I had before I had my near-death experience. I thought I was really big into justice. How sad. I told my kids one time when they were younger, that car cut me out. Remember that license plate. How sad. Now I'm grown and they still remember that license plate. But now that I'm grown and I've had that experience, the first thing I do is feel sorry for someone, because all of these other things that's happening in life is for our growth in so many ways, but they don't know what they're doing, or they wouldn't do it. They're hurting themselves. So the big thing is ask God for help and move on. Get new pictures in your life, in your mind, in your heart, but be forgiving. As we forgive, so we shall be forgiven. And the biggest thing I want next time is to be forgiving and I want peace of mind. The only way I can do that is to go through these hardships. Let me tell you, when I was on the other side, after being all the pain, paralyzed, rheumatoid arthritis, all the pain I'd had, the physical, mental pain of knowing I had not used my life as well as I could have was much worse than any physical pain I could have in this world. So if you want to have peace of mind, just keep your mind on what you want. Keep on keeping on. You know, you have brain waves or brain marks in your, anyway, get new paths in the brain by thinking the right thoughts and keeping right pictures, keeping hope, get your vision board and believe in yourself and believe in God. You just send your mind this positive thought with your toes, with whatever, with health and healing, and join our power group on Saturdays with mental picturing so we can revitalize every part of your mind, your spirit, your body, and help to have all of the healing power you can with words, with thoughts, with feeling, and power from others with their thoughts and prayers.
Great. Can you talk about gratitude?
Yes, one of the main things. Let me ask you something. Many of you are parents. And how do you feel if you gave your son, your daughter, or someone else a beautiful gift? They threw it aside. They're busy with something. Isn't one of the main things you want is to have it be appreciated and grateful for whatever sacrifice you went for to give them? Well, God feels that way too. So I do have the ways of we'll get to the 10 ways to reap miracles, but one of the very first is gratitude. So God wants you to be grateful. That's one of the very first things, is to be grateful for what you have before you ask for more. Sincere gratitude is known. Every thought is known. Every action is known. But be grateful for what we have before you ask for more. And then also, it's so important. The first law of learning is repetition. And if you join us on Saturdays and on the website, How to Have an Awesome Day, and if you will repeat this every day, morning and night, or have someone read it to you, How to Have an Awesome Day, to be kind, be thoughtful. For now, I will be kind. I will be thoughtful. I will feel calm and serene. I am feeling more and more enjoying life, feel better and better. I can, I will, I do be my best self. You keep saying it until you feel it and you believe it, and you'll do it.
Fantastic. Can you talk a little bit about prayer? Because earlier in your diagnosis, you prayed, but you didn't totally believe that you were going to heal. And then something shifted later in your illness. Can you talk about that shift and then what happened after you made that shift?
I still was going through so many things. As I prayed, I still had this thing in my life. I had a lawsuit going on. I lost over $300 million on a lawsuit. I didn't know how long lawsuits how many other people have even had the opportunity of losing $100 million. But anyway, as I was going through this and all of these other things that were happening in life, I prayed, but my heart wasn't in it. But then I decided, no, I want to be healed. I need to be healed. I had lost my voice. People couldn't understand me. I was looking for a voice board because, as everyone knows, everything goes by your eyes to blink yes and no. I was in a neck brace, an ankle brace, but I was taking the homeopathic, which I really believe that I had a special homeopathic coming in from Germany, but also using prayer and the positive thinking. But then all of a sudden one day I really felt it. And I believe in praying to where it's everything is God. Everything is power from him. But then everything is power from me. And when I really felt it, I felt with all the sincerity of my heart, I knelt in prayer. I asked in prayer with all my heart and soul. And all of a sudden, it was as if a light gray smoke lifted up off of me and I was healed. My voice came back younger. I've had a sinus infection now, but almost 90, and my voice has not aged. Like I said, I don't feel like I've aged. I'm enthusiastic. The body may have a hard time catching up because it kind of hurts and aches, and I may have some limitations, but not in my mind. And if I make up my mind what I'm going to do, hey, it's going to get done. And you can too. That's my big thing is if I did it, you can too. I've had many miracles and all of you can have miracles. So join us, all of us. There's power in thought. There's power in prayer. Where two or more are gathered together, God is there too. Whatever you call him, God is the same. As you call higher power, God, Lord, universal power, whatever. As he said to me and as he said to all, I am who I am. And the healing power is with God and with us. Because if we don't put our minds and hearts and souls in it, it's going to make it more difficult for God to heal. We can have miracles, but it's much easier when we believe in them. And then we do something for someone else and earn some of those miracles.
Yeah, so why don't you talk a little bit about service to others? Because that's such an important piece of this.
Again, look around you. If you want God to answer your prayers, I'm far from perfect. Please don't ever. If I say it wrong, I'm so sorry because words are inadequate. And it's very hard to find earthly words for spiritual experiences. But so I don't ever mean to sound like I'm perfect or I know everything, but I've learned a lot. But this one on service is so important. As I kneel to pray, I sincerely ask in my heart, God, everyone's praying. Is there someone's prayer right now that I can answer? Most prayers are answered by someone else. There are the miracles, but usually it's a miracle with someone else. And they come to your door that didn't even know that they were just prompted. So listen in your mind and heart. Who can you be of service to? No matter what you can left to do, there's always something we can do to help someone else. And as we do that, we answer someone else's prayer. And I totally believe that is the biggest way to overcome heartbreak. I want to tell you something else very important about grief. Now, a nonprofit that I started, 501c3 nonprofit to help people for stress and grief relief. I've been widowed twice. I've lost so many of my loved ones, in addition to those to suicide. And I know there are some groups out there, and everyone has to overcome their grief in their own way. But I've also found that by mentally picturing and getting new pictures in my mind, it doesn't have to be a year or 2 years. The sooner you can get new pictures and go help someone else, the sooner you get over your grief and it helps others with theirs. And I know I had a friend who lost his wife about the time I lost my husband. And I know how limited and short my time is. God and the other people on the other side who are our spiritual cheerleaders want us to use our time the best that we can that we have left. He went to the grief group that kept him in there almost 3 years. After 3 years, he said, I think I better get out of this grief group and go start living. Other people go on right away because life is too short to waste the time. Service, helping others immediately is the key.
Yeah, and we were talking about how those who cannot even move or speak, how can they help others?
Keep their thoughts positive. Keep your feelings positive. Keep a smile. You'd be surprised what a smile can do. Do a smile and believe. And then go ahead and try the things. Do the best you can. Keep the prayer, the right thoughts. But also, if it is not the right time, if it's something that really needs to be, then prepare to meet God with the right thoughts, with gratitude. And we have, I am so thrilled to have had Rebecca, to have had the opportunities on her prayer line, to have Rebecca, and then to have Sheila, her mom, come on, who read my book. They read my book beginning together, and then she finished the book, God's Heavenly Answers. And it's been such a blessing for Sheila to come on. And as we've talked, even though it's just a short time that Rebecca left, but she's felt Rebecca come back to let her know that she cares. She's going to be there. And it's only a short time till we're going to be over there. So utilize our time wisely, because life is short. But I am so grateful for any of those I can help in any way.
Okay, fantastic. And even saying a kind word, a kind gaze, send somebody a text with your eye gaze, any small thing to make someone else's day feel better.
Being patient. Sometimes people just want to talk. They don't need answers. Now, let me tell you, I've done counseling for years. And one of the biggest problems I have with people who've been married for a long time. So the man complains, she won't do anything I say. The woman says, he won't listen to me. So what I tell him to do, I tell the woman quietly, tell him you're taking a survey. That way he won't be upset when you ask others the same thing. Because he's thinking, if I tell her she should do it. So as I say, I'm taking a survey. What's your opinion? Then he doesn't feel put down, because, hey, men are just built to want solutions, and they think the wife should follow them and do whatever they say. And maybe that's not every man, but usually. And so, you know, the men, they want to do a solution. The women just like to talk and need someone to listen. People need to listen. You don't need to solve it. I have some other friends, and they think that because I ask or say something that I'm asking a solution. No, we just want to be heard.
Great, thank you. We talked about judging. Tell us about pets in heaven.
Oh, I saw in my book, God's Heavenly Answer, the pets are in heaven. Not only that, they can talk and communicate over there, because you don't need words. And people who are mean to them are going to be very surprised when they find out. But they're also going to express gratitude to their owners. And do you want me to tell how I know and have the proof of my little service dog went to heaven? That's a lot. But my little service dog was in so much pain. I couldn't stand to have her in pain anymore. So I had to put her down. Even as bad as it hurt, I had to put her down. And then I had my daughter come to visit me. And I have a little doggy door. I have two doggy doors, one in the family room and one in my bedroom, and a special little necklace around the neck that opens it. In fact, the new little dog, I don't know if you can see the little necklace around the neck. There's a little necklace around the neck. It takes up because it's a power door. But the next day, after she was gone, her little necklace was not anywhere around. And the little doggy door went up and down and up and down. She was just telling me she was here. It was amazing.
That's pretty cool, because we were on the phone and Joyce was telling us about the doggy door, and then your grandson came and he saw it, and your daughter came and she saw it. So it's pretty cool that this doggy door would just go up and down by yourself.
6 people saw that little doggy door go up and down. Then what was amazing was the necklace was nowhere around. But then the amazing thing was later, when the little dogs came to visit and one was locked out, the door mysteriously opened for him to let him in.
So
all I can say, I don't know. Don't look for signs, but if you get them, be grateful. But I don't ask for signs, but if I happen to get them, I'm grateful.
Fantastic. So talk a little bit more, we talked about coping techniques, and talk about just getting control of your thinking and about the attraction of the different thoughts.
You know, it can be done. It may be difficult, but if you're having a difficult time, make sure you get a copy of that, How to Have an Awesome Day. Repeat it and repeat it until you feel it and know it. Because as you get control of your thinking, you get control of your feelings. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a precious journey. Hey, listen, I may be almost 90 for the body, but hey, I'm only 32 or 40. I still have a lot of years left.
Fantastic. So
we have other books we're writing. Want to help people out there, but please read my book before we talk, because we will make so much more progress. And I want to help everyone within the sound of my voice, everywhere. Help this be a better world. And what we're doing and what Tish and Scott are doing is absolutely fantastic. We are bringing hope. And If it can do it for ALS, it can do it for other things. It just means the immune system has gotten down to where you can't handle it, and then it gets a diagnosis. Someone else, you've got to get the immune system up. Some of the things that I found, first of all, prayer. Then next, God can lead you to things. Get the amalgam fillings out, as Tish says, one at a time. But however you do, make sure they have a dam in the back of the mind so the mercury can't go down. Then also, make sure you have pure air. I use ionizers and plenty of water to detox the body. And then organic food so you don't put more problems in from all the chemicals that's in the food. There's just so many things we can do to heal the body. But the real thing is the mind and the spirit and the determination.
Yeah, and you were saying, you were saying the other day that your mind is attracted to what you think about. It's like a mind. So if you have this positive set of mind, it's almost like you're then aware. God gives you solutions and puts miracles in your path and opportunities in your path all the time. So when you stay positive, you actually see those things in your path.
You see those, and
heal.
That's absolutely true. You see them and you attract them to them. Now, I realize I'm very blessed. I've had many miracles, but all of you can have miracles too. But start out. I didn't start out by having all the miracles necessarily, but now, for instance, I can take a tray of ice cubes, and if I'm up and enthusiastic, because there's power in the mind, there's power in enthusiasm, and I can put them in the freezer, and they will freeze. I call them leaping ice cubes. They'll have points coming out of them all over. There's all kinds of things you can do with mind power. They're not tricks, but it's amazing what happens as we think positive, as we feel positive, not where we're at, but where we can be, and just keep those thoughts in your mind. There's power in thoughts, but don't have any negative thoughts around you. Whatever you do, do not watch the news or the television before you go to bed, because program your mind. What you're thinking while you're sleeping is your real power, because you can't do anything you don't believe you can do. The most successful person who sings at the Tabernacle, sings in Washington, what's the difference between them and anyone else? They believe they can do it.
Great. So I'm just going to summarize, because everyone is always going to ask this on the Q&A. So I'm going to avoid the whole question of the Q&A. So you don't need to ask these questions because they're answered right here. What were your symptoms? How bad did you get? Joyce had muscle cramping, muscle twitching, difficulty swallowing, difficulty breathing. You had almost completely lost your voice. No one could understand you.
Could understand me choking on my own saliva, dropping things. So many of the things, losing the strength. And at first, at one point, because the muscles felt so weak, I thought, I must need more exercise or something. But no, I just got weaker and weaker to where, I just had to. It was interesting. I could drive with my right leg sometimes when I couldn't do anything else. And my husband came into town, who literally passed away, but he lived 14 more years than he was supposed to. But anyway, we went to dinner somewhere, and someone says, don't you want to be driving? He says, no, she can drive her right leg, but he had to drag me there with my arm around his neck.
Yeah. So
I wasn't giving up driving if I didn't have to.
I wanted to let everyone know that Joyce's whole story on exactly how she healed is in healingals.org. There's a blog archive on the right side. Scroll down, and there it says Joyce Brown, and you'll see it. And there is 2 videos embedded. We did them. They're posted on YouTube, and the links are in that blog. So if you want her full story, this is really on her mental healing. So we'd like the questions on her mental healing. I'm not saying what she didn't do physically was important, but she feels if you had to give yourself a percentage of what you did physically versus what you did mentally, Joyce, what percentage would you give it, you healing?
95% mental. And first of all, 100% God. But if I was not in the right mood and in tune with him, then I would have lost it. Now, there are some atheists that get some miracles, good for them, but they won't have them all their life. But if they, and I always say, if someone doesn't have belief in God and they just go ahead and do all the right things, and then they get over and find out that they needed to have done that, good for them. But if they live their life and they don't do what they're supposed to, and they get over there and find out it's too late, because life is precious. Life is a mortal school, but there are ways, there are answers. So seek them out. Join us on the prayer group. Believe, and you are going to have miracles, and we're going to pray for you too, because there's strength and power in prayer. We're going to help change the world. This that Tish and Scott are doing, as far as with ALS, one of the hardest things out there. is just the beginning, because all of it has to do with your own immune system, cancer, whatever. There are answers. Just know if there's questions, there's answers. But we find them a little bit at a time, and you hang in there because we're going to help you, and you're going to be part of the solution. So,
right. So if you notice that, she did change her diet, she took some supplements, she got her fillings removed, she did homeopathy and acupuncture, but none of this would have worked without the prayer and the forgiveness and the gratitude
and the belief
and and meditation and sleep teaching. She used all of these mental tools to make sure that the physical tools worked. So I am going to just give you a few little things. Yesterday, this is from her book. Yesterday is but a dream, tomorrow is only a vision, but today lived well, making good use of our time, makes yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. A few little Joyceisms. I'm going to read you some of the things that you've told me this week.
Okay.
Pray like everything depends on God, and work like everything depends on us. You can control your thoughts. Whenever you get depressed, someone has it worse. So, help them instead. Forgiveness, gratitude, appreciation. Don't judge. For the grace of God, there go I. Judge not. I realized it could have been me. If we want mercy, we must give mercy. Forgiveness is the key. Give it to receive it on the other side. And seriously feel for the person who did you wrong, because generally, it's their issue, not yours.
They don't know that they did it to themselves.
Absolutely. And I think the things that you told me about adversity, problems are blessings. Every adversity carries the seed of benefits.
Problems are blessings in disguise. You learn and grow from them. Can I just add this one? You take any problem you have right now and add 100 years to it. What's the real problem? Take care of it now. But the real problem in 100 years, you won't remember it, but you could mentally grow from it.
Absolutely. And we develop physical muscles, you were saying. How do we develop
physical muscles? We lift weights to develop physical muscles, but we make it through problems to develop mental and spiritual muscles. And which one lasts the longest?
Absolutely. Great. So I understand there is benefits in every adversity. There is learning in every adversity, and we become better people through adversity. Scott, we're just going to conclude this before we start with Q&A. Scott, you want to read the Have an Awesome Day?
Oh, how to have an awesome day.
I'm sure
you probably don't want to hear me at this point by now, but today you have to set your mindset in this mode and relax as you hear this. Today, I will be cheerful, loving, and kind. Today, I will try to adjust myself to what is, not try to adjust everything to my own desires. Today, I will speak softly, be calm, patient, and forgiving. Today, I will do a good turn or a kind deed. Today, I will be as agreeable as I can. Today, I will try to live through this day only. Day by day is very important. That is very important. Today, I will give myself at least a half hour for meditating, counting my blessings, and giving thanks for what I have. Today, I will have faith, be confident, and express gratitude. Today, I will look for the good in everyone and everything. Today, I will remember to breathe deeply and smile often. These all work very well for you, and everyone should go over these every day, and I guarantee you it will probably make your day.
Fantastic. And all of that thing that Scott just read is on hopedr.org, and that is Joyce's website. Information about the pro group that she does every Saturday. Again, it's only about 15 minutes every Saturday, and that is the details on how to join her pro group.
And it's 12 o'clock noon Pacific time. Yeah. And it's just a number you dial in, no code or anything. You just dial it in.
Absolutely. So we're going to do Q&A now, and I'm hoping that Marcel, go ahead, Marcel, you are now able to unmute.
Yes, so the first question is from Smita. She asks, what is sleep teaching?
Sleep teaching, we have special CDs for you. That it's repetition, the positive affirmations as you go to sleep. Your conscious mind goes to sleep, but your subconscious is awake and able to be reprogrammed. So every night you go to sleep, there's a CDs available, we can check. You can check with us how to get them, and it has over 1,000,000 times that you, but even below your hearing. But it's positive suggestions that reprograms your thinking, because sleep time is very important for your subconscious to work. People know hypnosis works. Well, hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So you change your thinking to change your feelings, and then it changes your actions.
And where can they find these? You say there are millions of them. Is it just
No, there's millions of affirmations on the CDs. There was nothing strong enough, so I made my own CDs, and I have them available. You have information on my website, or Tish and Scott can get you information so we can get them for you. It does require, we're working on getting it in more of a digital program because not everyone has a CD. But for right now, they are available on CDs. There was nothing strong enough out there, so I had my own made. And it cost quite a bit and went to a recording studio, but they are there, and they cover every subject from proper rest, right thinking, right feeling, right actions, all of it. So we can make sure that you can get them.
Okay,
Fantastic.
thank you.
And those CDs can be downloaded onto the computer and then transferred to the phone. So just to let you know that it's possible. But
I usually have one on my phone. I usually have one on my phone and listen to it quietly in the background everywhere I go. Someone hears a voice, that's too bad. But it can be done so it's on your phone or wherever, so it can just be playing quietly in the background.
Fantastic. Julie, next question.
Yeah, just to re-emphasize the prayer group on Saturday, because Flavia was asking, it's not through a Zoom link. So you go to Hope Doctor.
Well, that has the number on Hope Doctor.
Yes, and you use the phone number to call in.
And it's just as simple. You can call them from anywhere. I'll say it, but it's on the website. 657-390-4797. And it does not take a code. But we're on there, and look forward to everyone being on there and joining us, because the more that are on there, the more power. And we are having fun, and it's going to get better.
On a Saturday prayer group, somebody who couldn't get in.
You will really enjoy it. So please join us for that, because that is going to be more and more powerful. And healingals.org, you find all of the physical things to do. That's such a wealth of knowledge. But then we will supplement and add to it with the power of prayer, the words. And we're just having fun on there, plus learning more. On my site, I think it's Dr. Joyce Suicide Prevention. There's a lot of short videos about some of my sayings and some of the CDs, but we'll make them available, whoever wants them, because I'm just sending out so much love and prayers and hope, and know that we're going to have healings, and know that we're with you. Whatever, just know that we are so with you at all times, all day and night. So we're there with you mentally. And if I did it, others are doing it, you can too. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do, actually, Lisa mentioned that Lisa said that she does sleep teaching with Marissa Pierce hypnotherapy scripts, and it really works. And recording, you can also record either Joyce's or Marissa's scripts with your own voice. That also helps. So let
me just tell you, I just have to say, you are much better off to listen to the ones. Now, I'm also a hypnotic therapist and even a hypnotic anesthesiologist, but every word is positive on there. I'm not saying the others aren't good, but I wouldn't advise someone to start out with it, because if they put a negative word in there and they don't know it, it's just really easy to say, I don't do this. And so to start with, learn the positive ones. Make sure you get the CDs, my CDs. We'll find a way to get them for you. They are on there available, and we'll get them for you. But it's just positive, what you do with your own thinking.
Okay. So if you can't dial, again, work on eye gaze. I think that's really, really important. I'm going to actually mute. I'm going to unmute, let everyone unmute themselves. Please unmute yourself, and then as soon as you finished asking your question, please mute yourself back again. And if you'd like to say something, maybe possibly raise your hand. Scott, could you go over how to raise your hand after you unmute yourself? So go ahead, Scott. You should be able to unmute yourself now, and then just tell people how to raise.
You can raise your hand by going to the bottom center where it says participants. Click on participants, and to your right, your lower right, there's a sign that says raise hands. You click on that, and it raises your hand so Tish can see you, and she can go over everyone's in order, whoever's asking their questions verbally.
Go ahead, honey.
Oh. Hi, doctor.
Hi, Robert. Hey, nice to see you, Robert.
Thank
Go
you.
right ahead with your question there.
Well, I'm blind also, and I'm wondering about eye gaze. Is there still a way to use that? That's for the doctor.
Yes.
Joyce,
Tish,
you have to unmute yourself again because I had to mute everyone to unmute you. So you just need to unmute yourself and then you'll be set.
there are different programs where he can actually get eye gaze, and
Right. But he's also blind, and I'm not sure, Joyce. I don't even know if you know that answer.
I know something else to help someone who is that I haven't used it, but I've heard of it, and it's on the internet. And it says "Be My Eyes," and I haven't had a chance to use that. But "Be My Eyes," I don't know what the other is, but "Be My Eyes," I understand could really help. And then people are always telling me how I could use Dragon, for as an author. But hey, with no one here, I walk in the door, computer in one hand, and the program for Dragon in the other. What am I going to do? Anyway, I found things that are working, even though I'm not able to see and keep going. Because if we're determined, we'll find a way. But "Be My Eyes" is supposed to be really something good with someone to help them.
And Robert, it's great that you still have your voice, so you can do voice control that that others can't do as well. So it's a tough situation. But as Joyce said, I think there is definitely a way to do this.
Tish, I want to say thanks for that, because sometimes I'm not counting the blessings I do have. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to ask a question or make a comment? It's fine. We're finishing up. Joyce, thank you so much.
Thank you for
that
having
inspiring.
me.
That's what I'd like to know.
Can you hear me again, Tish? It stopped for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I want to tell everyone how much I love and appreciate them being here and them caring and know sincerely how much we will be praying for you and want to hear from you and sincerely care. And I want to make sure everyone gets the book and the CDs. If you can't afford it, fine, we'll find a way, but we got to get the information out. That's my most thing. The next time I die, I want peace of mind. And anyone I've been able to help here, that's a big thing. So you let us know, and let us know what we can do to help you. Stress and Grief Relief is a nonprofit. I'm hoping we'll carry on after I'm gone, but we just want to help make everyone so that they can help everyone have the very best life you can and the best afterlife.
Yeah, and if you're in pain, do reach out to Joyce. There is a phone number on her website. She does have another 702 number, which she'll give you at the prayer group if you need it, because her 877 number that works only in the U.S. But please, it's $2.99 on Kindle. Read her book first, and then give her a call.
That's very good. Now, can I please suggest something else for pain that I found? I found there's some electrical things out there. And I've also found that doctors won't suggest an electrical TENS unit, electrical neural whatever it is, TENS unit. But that does wonders. And many times you have to go ask the doctor specifically for it. And I've worn out about 10 of them. But there's a lot of electrical things out there that can help, like the low, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that really help. The back, the pain, the knees, wherever, because we've got pain all over. But there are some things that can help without it being drugs.
Thank you. And I want everyone to feel like you can ask Joyce right now a question, or you can share. Someone asked about the homeopathic doctor who passed away ages ago. So this was 1988, remember. It was a while ago. So Joyce has managed to outlive her doctor, like many people with ALS have.
And I also outlived 2 undertakers that wrote up my pre-mortem package. I mean, my pre-burial package.
Joyce, how can you turn your negative thoughts into positive?
What? Say that again.
How can you change your negative thoughts into positive?
You cannot break a bad habit. You have to replace it. So by listening to these positive suggestions until they just become part of you, because it's not easy. We don't break habits. Like with hypnosis, if you say, you want to stop, I'm going to stop biting my nails. I can no longer bite my nails. No, that's frustrating. You have to replace it with the positive thoughts. I want my nails to grow long and attractive. So with any negative thinking, just keep praying and thinking the positive until it becomes a new habit. I didn't say it would be easy, but it will be worth it. And
great answer. Stephen Bishop said, you can think about just like a 2-year-old crying because they just skinned their knee. You can choose to think about something else. So you say, look at the butterfly, and the 2-year-old has completely forgotten the pain in their knee. And we as
That's
adults can
awesome.
do the same thing. We think a negative thought. We can choose to dwell on that negative thought, or we can choose to think something positive. So that's and Bob Johnson.
The other thing is learn to sing some music that's powerful, and some Christian songs, or learn to sing till you get overcome the thoughts. But you can replace with positive thoughts and
Great.
read positive things.
Mark Manchester said, listen to a lot of music. Listen to upbeat music that you love. Very important. Bob Johnson, you had a question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Joyce. You lift me up today. Can you give some suggestions regarding sleep and how to acquire a good sleep?
Okay, one of the ways I would suggest, now this is a very important one, is that meditation works. And you can start with, mentally picturing each part relaxing. But I want to add something. Be sure you tell yourself what time you want to wake up. Because I've experienced when I was in a really deep sleep, I can't move. What am I going to do? And then I realized all I had to do was tell myself, I can wake up and feel great. But it's very important because the mind is so powerful. But so start out by just meditating. And then I have a problem with sleeping. And so I have to take a little something. I don't take much, but melatonin helps. And if you have to, just do moderation, but whatever you do, don't overdo a drug. The side effects, and any drugs that you're given, please look up the side effects, because the side effects can be terrible. And then most doctors will just give another pill for the side effect. So the more that you can be in charge of your own body to help it heal, the better off you are.
Thank you.
And that sleep teaching, did that help you stay positive if you woke up in the middle of the night?
Yes, it did. In fact, some interesting things is one night, I put on, this is back when there were records. And I mean, I go back to Clear 58, using it constantly since. But some of the experiences, I've had all kinds of experiences with it. But I decided they had some records, and I had the record player that was a vocabulary. And they were really way out vocabulary words. And I put that on that night. And normally it would take you quite a while to learn it. By morning, I knew them, and I was using these big words in my speech with people. But as an example about learning why you sleep, Art Linkletter, I don't know how many of you remember Art Linkletter. Anyway, he decided to make an experiment, and he was on his show, but he took it and courses to learn Chinese. At the end of 10 days, they tested him and said he knew as much Chinese in 10 days as if somebody had been studying it for a year. Dr. Adrian Miller, and I have these tests, I have to get them out at some point, was a professor at UCLA University years ago, and he made an experiment with students to play them French every night for a week, once through the day, but every night for the week. At the end of the week, he tested them. They knew as much French in 1 week as if they'd spent a whole semester of studying. And then we even had the piano and organ course that we used to have, because I used to do sleep teaching full time before I had that car accident. But the Los Angeles Music Conservatory of Arts tested and said that people in 6 months of just listening to the piano and organ, very lightly practicing, knew as much as 2 years intense study. The mind is powerful in repetition, and really powerful with the subconscious. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So learn to tell yourself what you want and keep your mind off what you don't want.
Great. Anyone else want to share anything? Either share or ask a question. Either one.
Can I jump in here?
Yep.
Yeah, many people out there probably noticed this week the trial results for Neuron, how it crashed and burned. And, everyone on the planet with ALS has probably been paying attention to that for a while. And what struck me when I saw that was, well, first of all, only 2 of the reversals had any stem cell treatment at all. And they only did it for a short time. So there's that. 46 of the 48 reversals did not have any stem cells. So that's one thing. The second thing is, when I looked at the results, I noticed that it didn't beat the placebo. But the rate of the placebo in this was much slower than any placebo I've ever seen. It was much slower than the baseline for all ALS patients. So it left me scratching my head, what's going on here? So it occurred to me that those getting the placebo probably thought they had, Neuron, and their results were so much better. So one of the things I was looking at online about this was somebody said, the power of the placebo, and that's validates everything you're saying here, Joyce. And I appreciate everything you do here, Tish and Scott.
Oh, thank
I
you
appreciate
so
it
much.
so much. So I learned about this book called The Power of a Placebo this week, and I started reading it. It's absolutely nothing short of remarkable, and it validates every. Yeah, are you familiar with that book?
No, I'm not, but I am familiar with the power of positive thinking, and so that's the same thing. It would be the same thing with the power
And
of placebo.
I mean,
It's what
it's
they believe.
documented scientifically over and over and over again. So I'm listening to that book. I can't turn pages in a book. I can only listen. So I've got a new app called Audible to listen to books. And The Power of the Placebo is something I'm enjoying every day. And it's absolutely incredible what the mind does for people in terms of curing everything, absolutely everything. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And use it. I mean, I was amazed. Thank you so much for bringing this up, Rob. Really appreciate it. 25% of people in the placebo group had positive results. Imagine if 25% of ALS people reversed ALS permanently.
Oh, is that really true? I didn't know that detail. 25% in the Neuron placebo group actually
in the
reversed.
placebo group, it did, yeah. And again, it wasn't necessarily a complete reversal, but the point is they're starting to reverse it. 25%.
And join us Saturday. Join us Saturday because we're going to get you all to really believing and feeling it.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys have listened to a little bit of Bruce Lipton's work, that day we spent with him and interviewed Bruce Lipton, remember there's a placebo effect and there's a nocebo effect that can be just as powerful also. So that's why that power of positive thinking is so paramount, because you can go the other direction with it. So go right ahead.
Another book I want to do is The Power of Positive Belief. Change your self-talk, change your life. So before the book comes out, just do it. Get the sleep teaching. I'm telling you, these sleep teachings are the strongest things out there. If there was anything stronger, I would have it. But I have the strongest ones out there. I'm telling you, they are strong, and the results. And then we can publish your results. I'm going to help also, I'm known as the Hope Doctor Press. So we want to get people's stories. We want to get, maybe you won't get it the other way, but we'll get the story out there. So let's get together, get the results, and we're going to do it.
Fantastic. Any other comments before we start closing? Comments, questions?
Well, I'm going to have to start saying my goodbyes. And
for a wonderful lecture.
I really want to apologize to who that was that wrote me and said they waited and waited to hear me say their name goodbye. I try to get everybody's names, but I'm dealing with a few hundred people.
We have many screens here.
So I try to get everybody's name when I say goodbye. I feel so bad because you guys are like family to us, and I want to make sure everyone is mentioned in family. So bye, Denise. Bye, Smita. Bye, what's that, Gregaros there? And Lucy.
Bye to everyone with love from my
Thank
heart.
you so much for being here, Joyce. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Love it every time. Bye. Bye.
Look forward to hearing from Margaret.
Bye, Kay. Bye, Tony. Bye, Tondalea. Bye, Sharon. Bye, Eric over there. Nice seeing you again, Eric. Okay, bye, David. Nice seeing you. Bye, Karen. Bye, Susan. Bye, Kevin. Bye, Petra. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye, Bruce. Nice.
Bye, Freddie. Bye, Brian, Marie,
Bye,
David.
And Susan and David Murray still over there in the UK, and Freddie. Nice to see you. Bye, Michael. Bye, Julie McDonough there, and Maria. Lisa Manchester. Bye. By the way, Lisa, I've been having your Infatuate. I don't know if you had seen that or not, but it's very good. And bye, Lisa. And bye,
awesome
Jessica.
Stuff.
Pat Ferguson there, and Gary. Yes. All right. Bye, Charlene.
What a wonderful day.
Bye. Yes, everybody, please have a wonderful day and stay positive. Whatever you do, stay positive and keep moving that positive swing momentum forward. Okay? And we all have peaks and valleys. Reach for that peak. Keep going there. Bye-bye, Lauren. I see you there. Okay? Bye-bye, Walter and Nate. Okay, we'll see you there.
And Michael, Gail, Wendell, Fran, Todd.
Yes,
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.